Hello, everybody. This is the evyAI persona training. For those of you that don't know what a persona is, if you log into evyAI, on the left side, you're going to see it says personas. These personas are very special. Why? Because these personas allow you to train the artificial intelligence to know exactly if you're a person, a company page, and how to train the AI to sound like you. When you're generating with evyAI, there's a lot of different things that you can choose from. When you're generating with evyAI, you can choose a goal, like you have many different goals to choose. You can choose a tone, and you have many different tones to choose, but you could also choose a persona. So, how do you know when you choose a goal, when you choose a tone, when you choose a persona? How do you know when you select a different language over here? How do you know which GPT to use, or when to use templates, or when to use the command box? Because there's many different things that go into making a generation. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? There's the goal, why, what you want the AI to do in terms of a goal. There's the tone, how do you want it to sound? There's the persona, who are you? And any other instructions you need to give the AI where it's around who are you and how you want it to sound and how you want to sound. There's the language. What language do you want to have available? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 languages. Okay, so we speak 21 languages. And then we have 5 different AIs that you can choose from. And then we have templates for things that you need to do over and over and over and over again. And then we have a command for things that are like one time. So, for example, if I want to one time be able to do a chill vibes tone, a chill vibes persona, and say something like, tell me in one sentence why people are so annoying sometimes. And then I hit generate. It'll say people can be annoying sometimes because they just don't think about their actions to affect others, you know? Like everyone's got their own stuff going on, and sometimes it's just hard to see. But do you see the way it sounds like a 14-year-old kid wrote that? Can you guys see that, Carlos? Do you see it sounds like that? But why does it sound like that? Because the chill vibes persona told it to sound like that. Now, I did give it a command of what to talk about, so that's important. So let's go into the command real quick, go into the persona and see what that looks like. In a persona, you have the name of the persona, which is mandatory, has a red mark here. And then you have the background and history, which is mandatory, and if it's a person or a company. So the background and history says from now on, all your responses are typos, bad grammar, and don't use perfect English. Make mistakes like a real human would, typing fast. Misspell words and forget pronunciation. Use wrong tense. Make it sound casual like you're talking to a friend. Use phrases like you know, like, and stuff, and don't capitalize things. Okay, so this is a very specific persona related to the way that I want it to sound, and the way I want it to sound all the time. Now you have different personas based on the different things that you're doing. So, for example, I have personas based on Twitter, personas based on WhatsApp, personas based on who I am as the CEO of this company or the CEO of another company, personas based on Facebook, personas based on specific types of comments, whether it's a comment reply or a comment on an influencer's post. And I have personas based on a hook generator, like a specific task that I want to do, or notes for a specific organization that I take over and over and over and over again. Personas related to my CRM, personas related to replying to emails. Do you see this? So many different types of personas that I have here. I have personas that will purposely leave a comment that has a typo in it, personas that represent specific types of people, and so on and so forth. And I even have one just called Joe Applebaum or Joe Applebaum 2. And I'm going to show you the different personas and how they work and when you should be using a goal, a tone, a persona, the command box, a template, the language, and different GPTs. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second, and I want to ask you guys this question. Is it clear so far what we're doing here? Is it super clear? In the chat, let me know if it's clear or not clear. Just write clear in the chat if it's super clear. Personas are there to train the artificial intelligence on how you want it to sound all the time if you're a person or a company page, and then anything else that you want it to do. That's what the main thing for a persona. If you want to be able to do a one-time thing, you don't use a persona for a one-time thing. For example, if you want to give it context on about the person related to a specific message, you don't create a custom persona to send out one message one time to somebody. But if you want the style of the message to give tips and the style of the message to be more more organized and use specific language and avoid using specific language, that's why you use a persona. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you an example. Somebody told me that in Canada, they speak English, but the word color is spelled different in Canada. Do you guys know how they spell color in Canada? It's not Color. Can you guys guess how you spell color in Canada? The way that you spell color in Canada is Colour or something like that. They say things in a certain way, but it's still English. Now, there's no language in the extension called Canadian English. So in the persona, I suggested that she say, here are the 17 words that I want you to use these words as a Canadian. And make sure that when you say
But we do have
color,
British English, by the way.
we do have British English, but we don't have Canadian. And
Hmm.
Canadian might not be exactly British. So I told her, if you want to speak like Jamaican, you want to say yaman, finish everything with yaman, you can do that. You guys know what I'm talking about? When they say Jamaican, like yaman, whatever, you can do that. Or if you want to be able to speak in Spanish, but you want it to be able to speak Spanglish, so it's English but with a Spanish twist, you can do that. You would use the English language, but in the persona, you would say talk like somebody that has an accent, and these are the specific things that you should do. That's not what you do in the command box. That's what you do in the persona. However, let's say I'm sending a message to Kevin Clark and I would say, hey, Kevin, it was nice talking to you yesterday. I'm not going to make a persona specifically for Kevin Clark because when I talk to him, you get what I'm saying? The persona is more about me rather than Kevin Clark. If I want to give something specific and say it was nice to meet you, I would use the command box for that. Now, when would I use a template? The way that I would use a template is if I have a certain formatted in-mail that I'm sending that's formatted a certain way, I would create an in-mail with that template, and then I would use the template together with a persona because I'm doing a specific task that requires me to use a specific template. And then I just want the AI to customize the template a little bit more. I'll give you an example of when I use the template. So I have a persona called Joe Applebaum, CEO of Ajax Union. Okay, so it explains this. Joe Applebaum, he's the CEO of Ajax Union. These are the words he uses. These are the words he doesn't use. This is his background. This is his passions, whatever, right? It knows about me. Now it knows who I am. I'll use a specific goal, which is be informative. I'll use a specific tone, which is be casual in my tone. And then if I'm replying to somebody that sends me a message on LinkedIn that basically says, would you like to buy my products and services? I can just write no thank you. Or I can have a template that says, no thank you, but check out evyAI.com. I use that template. I hit generate. It'll read the message on LinkedIn and then basically give the vibe of no thank you, but check out evyAI.com and kind of craft the message because I use that template. I'm not going to have a no thank you persona. You get what I'm saying? I'll have a no thank you template with a Joe Applebaum persona because I say no thank you often, but I'll use it as a template, not as a persona. However, if I'm going to Twitter and I want to reply to a tweet, I would have a Twitter persona because I'm replying as a Twitter person. So I need to speak like I speak on Twitter, which is very short, which is include their thing in a certain way. And so I would use a Twitter persona. I could use a Twitter template too, but that would be very annoying. So I set up personas for either the platform or the person or the company page or the task that you're going to do that you're going to be doing over and over and over and over. Okay. So you don't need a million personas. If you had 10, 15, 20 personas, you'd be fine. Initially, you could start with 2 or 3, but as you see a case use for a persona, then you'll put in the persona there. Because if you have too many personas, it gets really, really confusing. Okay. So you want to make sure that you have fewer personas, more templates, and then you can't change your goal, your tone, your persona. You can't change your goal and your tone, so that just stays as is. And then in terms of the languages, you can't really change your languages, but if you would want a language to be specific, you would add that to the persona. Okay? Like a specific vibe of a language and so on. Okay. And in terms of like the type of LLM that you should use, the type of LLM that you should use, and LLM stands for a large language model, you could either use GPT mini, GPT-4, and we're going to be changing those around. But let's say you need something a little more sophisticated, you might want to switch to Gemini. If you need something that works a little faster, you use GPT-4 mini. If you want something that's a little more creative, you would just use GPT-4. Sometimes you make a generation, it doesn't come out right. Change the LLM, change to a different AI, and see how it comes out. Okay, because you have a lot of different levers that you can pull. Okay. Juan says, can I ask a persona to generate templates automatically based on my persona? Yes. You can ask your persona to generate templates for you 100%. You just have to make sure that the top says AI writer. Okay, so I'm going to show you what that means. I'm going to share my screen real quick. And I'm going to show you what this means. So you see it says AI writer here on top. When it says AI writer, that means that it can do anything you want it to do, like generate templates. So for example, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to choose my Joe Applebaum 2, and I'm going to say, please generate 3 templates for outreach using LinkedIn direct messages to let people know about my company and how my company works. Make sure that they're concise and make sure that each template that I use to message people on LinkedIn is only 20 words long. I'm going to hit generate, and it's going to generate. Do you see that? Discover how Ajax Union leverages AI. At evyAI, we empower businesses. Da, da, da. Join me at Transforming Personal Development for the AI at Evergreen. Do you see that? It made 3 templates for me. Now I can give it even more instruction using the command to make something else, but do you see the way it was able to create those templates for me? I'm doing a webinar on May 14th about the power of LinkedIn. Could you create 3 variations for invitations for me to send to people via direct message on LinkedIn? Use curiosity, like asking questions to people instead of trying to promote the webinar. Like get them to actually want to respond yes. Okay, let's just see what it does. Are you curious about LinkedIn and how it can transform your strategy? I'm hosting a webinar on May 14th. Focus on leveraging LinkedIn. Do you see that? So it's giving me 3 separate ones. How cool is that? And then you can take this and save it into the templates over here. You could have evyAI even write you your persona for you. How do you do that? So let's go to the community. Let's click on Discover the Community. And let's go to the classroom. Let's go to the library. And do you see it says persona examples here? Can you guys see that? There's a video that explains how personas work here. But these are all the different persona ideas that you can have. These are just ideas. If you want the actual personas, on the top here it says, to see the personas, check out the comments of the post below. So let's go to the comments of the post below. And here there are personas in each one of these posts. So if you go to the one with the dollar sign, can you see the dollar sign here at the way bottom, Carlos?
Yep.
Yes.
If you go to the one with the, do you see the way I asked you that question, Carlos?
Aha. Yes.
If you scroll down, each one of these comments has a persona in it. So if I like this persona, I can say, customize this persona. Watch this. I can copy this, say, I'm about to provide you with a persona, and I want you to customize it to be able to sound like me. Here is the persona example that you should use and customize it completely to sound like me. I'm going to make sure that I'm using the right goal, the right tone, the persona, hit generate, and let's just see what it does. This did a terrible job. I'm going to change the LLM to, let's say, Gemini. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm creating training for artificial intelligence to sound like me, and I'm going to provide you with an example template persona, and I want you to customize it with my information. Let's just see what it does now. I just changed to Gemini, which takes longer. Artificial intelligence temporarily unavailable. Okay, let's try again.
While it loads, I just want to let you know, since we were working with Carlos's profile, he only has so far, he only has one persona with very basic information about him. And we told him that you have up to 2,000 characters to provide information about yourself and about how you want to sound and things you want to say and things you may just not want to say, and all that. So this should be pretty interesting, especially for Carlos to create more personas, because in this case he's not going to be he will be able to not just talk the way he talks, but also not use Grammarly like he said he does, and send messages to other people from work, from his personal life, whatever. This is pretty helpful because this will help Carlos create new personas in an easier way.
Right. So Carlos, what I want you to do is I just created a post in our community. You see I created this post? So I'm going to put this in the chat for you. Go ahead and take your persona from LinkedIn, from the personas. Right over here, you go into your personas here. Click on personas. Find me one of your personas and let's all make it better. Let's analyze it. Let's all take a persona that we have and let's put it in there. So I'm going to take one persona, for example, my chill vibes persona. I'm going to press edit. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it in here. You see that? So I just put this example persona there so you can see my chill vibes persona. Now I'm going to go there, find another persona that I'm going to share with you guys, which would be a school post reply persona. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to put my school post reply persona. Then I'm going to go here. I'm going to find another persona called my comment persona. Let me see if I have it. Chill vibes, posting template. I'm going to find my chill vibes persona. My comment reply persona, LinkedIn comment persona. I'm going to press edit. I'm going to paste my LinkedIn comment persona here. You see that? That's another example persona. So go ahead, guys. Go in the comments here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second and share the persona if you can. Share your own persona there. But Carlos, you see what I did there? If you have a group of people here, get them all to comment in the community with stuff. Like get Greg and Carlos and David and anybody else that's here, share their personas in the comments so that the entire community can see what we're doing and we can help you out. This is not just about us. We have 1,000 people in our community now. You guys know that? We have 1,000 people in our community. So let's get everybody involved. It's not just about what I know. I don't have all the answers. So if you post your comment in the community, to the community, then everyone can see your persona and we could all help you out. You agree?
Yep.
You're muted, Joe.
Once I see one person's persona, then I will share my screen again so that we can analyze your persona, but put it in the community so that I can look at it. In the meantime, I'm going to share something interesting with you guys. In the meantime, I'm going to share with you what typically needs to go into a persona so that you know how to train the AI. Because that's important too. I explained to you how the personas work in general, but I'm going to share with you what can go into a persona. So let's do this. Let's review. I'm going to go here until this comes up. Okay, this guy Nikhil said, help. Can someone help me here? I want to count lead bookings on my website, our targets, da-da-da. Okay, we're going to get into that after. We'll look at that after. Who's your ideal client? And then over here, practical guide for the AI writer. Did you guys see this practical guide for the AI writer? So here's the practical guide. When to use personas, specific content formats, short comments, viral posts, newsletters, when you want a consistent voice, when you want specialized expertise. Okay, so that's what goes into a persona. Specific content formats, consistent voice, and specialized expertise. Okay? You guys get what I'm saying? That's what goes into a persona. Now, I'm going to give you guys a special tool that allows you to generate a persona based on you answering questions. So I created a persona generator. If you go to strategyevyai.com/persona, you can actually fill out a bunch of questions here. And when you press generate persona, this will generate a persona for you. Do you get what I'm saying? So for example, if I go in here and I type in Carlos Diaz and I put in his email address, let me see if Carlos went ahead and shared his persona here. Share your persona. It looks like Carlos shared his persona. the CEO. Okay, let me click on this. I'm going to click on LinkedIn. I'm going to go ahead and check out his contact info, grab his email from here, put it in here. Then I'm going to grab, what else did it ask me for? His LinkedIn URL. I'm going to copy that, put it in here. His industry, technology, his keywords. I'm going to say help desk, tech, support, MSP, services, office of the CIO, CTO for hire, whatever. Okay, so let's just say those are the things. The tone, he's very technical. And then his background and history, I'm just literally going to grab information from his profile here. All this, you see? Copy this. I'm going to paste it over here. I'm going to hit generate persona. So now let's just see what happens. This is basically sending it to an AI, and the AI is writing up your persona using a specific prompt. And I'll give you guys the prompt as well and show you how to find the prompt. So this is what it does. First name, last name, email, LinkedIn, professional profile, communication style, personal attributes, and then optional attributes. Words to avoid, example prompt for the AI, and then it gives you some post ideas. How cool is this? So I'm going to copy this right here. I'm going to paste it in the community. You guys could see what I just created. You see what I just created? So what would go into the persona? You can decide from here what you want to go into the persona. You can tell it what words to avoid. You can tell it example of what it should do. Do you see that? An example prompt. You can tell it your optional attributes, which is the general emotion, language style, questions, formality level, pronoun principle, if you want it to be third person or first person. I'll give you an example of that. So if I go to my personas here and I type an influencer comment, let's just look for the influencer comment one. If I go to the influencer comment persona, do you see I'm asking it to speak in third person? You see? Talk about it in third person. You see? So you could do first person, third person. There's many different ways that you can do personas. Let me quickly show you the prompt because we're almost at time. So if you go to my profile on LinkedIn, and you could search for this in the community as well, but I'll just show you on my profile. And you see it says featured. You go to my featured posts. You can go to all featured items. I have a post that I wrote here that will help you write a persona. Here's a framework to use when creating a persona. It says create a persona based on the AI information from LinkedIn below. And use this. Also, give me 5 topics to brainstorm. And it says to put all this information in place. You see that? And then paste your headline and summary. So I'm going to copy this and put this into the community for you guys as a little gift. You can have any AI, even evyAI, create a persona based on this. You see that? So you can download your PDF. So watch this. Let's say we go to Claude. And I paste this in here. And then I go to Carlos's profile. Carlos Diaz. Check this out. Look how quickly I'm doing it. I go to Carlos's profile. I hit more, save PDF. You see I just saved his PDF with his entire profile. Then I go to Claude, and then I drag his PDF in here with this. It's going to make him a persona. See what I just did? Now you have your persona here. It's one version of the persona, but there are many versions. Does this make sense? Put a $sign in the chat if you got value today. Thank you for watching this training. This concludes our training. Carlos, did I cover everything?
And more.
And more. All right. Thank you for watching this. This has been recorded. This will be uploaded to the community. Have a good day. Boom.